50? At first, he remains silent. But if you're 50, you know that silence doesn't imply peace. Rather, it indicates that he's loading the clip. However, where did the money go, as it wasn't in the family's bank accounts? 50 claims that he assisted the family in obtaining more than $5 million from the show. Legitimate, legal money. He actually wrote, "Why did the old boy not protect me and send him to a large screen acting school? None of your folks that robbed helped him. You imagine you're Pablo Escobar when you get home, and you're tired of him since I helped your family earn more than $5 million. It's not my fault that everything is gone. Big Mech was broke, and Lil Mech was too. He is so broke that he is really selling promotional videos for $500 each. You think people don't see you because you want to shine so much that you're wearing the baby's jewelry. Bruh, give the baby back his jewelry."
What up, though? Bossy little bosses. And today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, you're a business owner, entrepreneur, wherever you got, trying to make it go up. Hit me.
50 was eager to make fun of him. Big Screech got Meech doing promos. $500 a pop, he wrote on Instagram. Grab one while it's still available. However, wait, 50 wasn't finished. Not even close. He posts a whole GoFundMe, just when you think he's tapped out of disdain. Yes, Big Meech has a GoFundMe page. Since it's exactly his kind of mayhem, let's face it, there's a 90% chance that 50 made it himself out of petty resentment. However, 50 uploaded it online, regardless of who created it. The internet went insane. The GoFundMe said unequivocally, revealed. However, he added those phrases to another carousel of BNF stills just in case anyone thought he was finished. But here's the thing, in each one, he obscured Lil Meech's face. Like deleting an ex, he literally blotted out the star of his own program. I'm not sure what else could be considered peak 50 Cent. At first glance, it appeared to be typical industry drama. Big Meech was merely attempting to get his post-prison bag, Ross was cunning, and 50 was being petty. Zooming out a bit, however, makes it appear that this isn't actually about 50, Ross, or even BNF as a brand. In reality, this could be a subtle father-son dispute masquerading as a label war. According to some fans, Meech's actions were motivated by jealousy, that unresolved parental energy that makes your child's accomplishment seem like your failure. You don't feel proud, you feel replaced. You then act out. Additionally, you destroy the bridges your child still needs to traverse in the process. The saddest part is that this might have been a father and son enterprise, a redemption arc. Rather, it is beginning to resemble the end of a dynasty. After returning home, a man made an effort to surpass his son, who had preserved his reputation. He clouded both of their prospects in the process. BNF is barely surviving with 50 out. 50 has previously said that this might be the final season, and STRZ has not confirmed another. Since 50 owns the rights, Rick Ross is not permitted to legally alter a BNF movie, and the harm might already be done. However, the crucial query is, did Lil Meech actually sell out 50 for $10 million? Was Big Meech manipulating strings from behind bars, or was this a setup from the start? Did 50 support the wrong person from the beginning, or was this just one giant betrayal disguised as loyalty? Share your thoughts with us. Watch our next video if you're prepared for more unadulterated, unfiltered tea. This is not the end of the narrative.